First contact deception. The signal arrived on a Tuesday. Dr. Elena Reyes was halfway through her coffee when the computer at SETI's Arecibo facility began blaring alerts. What started as digital static quickly resolved into mathematical sequences. Prime, numbers, then the value of pi to 1,000 digits followed by what appeared to be atomic structures. "It's not random," she whispered, hands trembling as she reached for the secure line. Within hours, the president stood before a hastily assembled council of world leaders, scientists, and military officials in a Washington, D.C. bunker. The atmosphere was electric with equal parts excitement and terror. "So it's confirmed? This is extraterrestrial communication?" President Harlow asked, his normally confident voice wavering slightly. "Yes, sir," Dr. Reyes replied. "The signal originates from the vicinity of Europa. Whatever sent it appears to be approaching our solar system." Defense Secretary Alvarez leaned forward. "And we're responding? Giving away our location to an unknown entity?" "They already know where we are," Admiral Chen said quietly. "That signal was specifically directed at Earth. They found us. The question is what they want." 3 days later, humanity had its answer. A vessel of impossible proportions decelerated into Earth orbit, a massive structure of gleaming silver and blue that dwarfed the International Space Station like a whale beside a minnow. "Greetings, people of Earth," came the transmission in perfect English. "We are the Vexari Alliance, a cooperative of 17 sentient species dedicated to peaceful exploration and cultural exchange. We wish to establish formal diplomatic relations." The alien representatives who shuttled down to the United Nations headquarters were tall, slender bipeds with iridescent skin that shifted colors with their emotions. They called themselves the El Shiri, one of the founding members of the Vexari. Alliance Ambassador Thelia, their lead diplomat, smiled with too many teeth as she addressed the General Assembly. "We have observed your world for some time. Your technological progress is impressive for such a young species." That night, in a secure facility beneath the Pentagon, Admiral Chen met with the president and a small circle of trusted advisors. "I don't trust them," Chen said bluntly, tossing a folder onto the table. "Their body language, the subtle inconsistencies in their story, something's off." Dr. Reyes nodded. "They claim to have just discovered us, yet they speak perfect English. They've clearly been studying us extensively." "What are you suggesting?" President Harlow asked. "That we proceed with extreme caution," Chen replied, "and that we activate the Prometheus Protocol." The president's face paled. "That's been theoretical for decades. You're telling me it's operational?" "Since 2032, sir, after the first confirmed exoplanet signals, certain elements within global security councils felt we needed insurance." Over the following weeks, the Vexari shared technological insights with Earth, medical advances, efficient energy systems, and improved agricultural methods. But they were notably reticent about propulsion systems, weapons technology, or the full extent of their alliance. Dr. Marcus Wong, astrophysicist and one of humanity's representatives, noticed something troubling during a tour of the Vexari vessel. "They've designated 17 categories for spacefaring civilizations," he reported back to Admiral Chen. "Based on overheard conversations and glimpses of their data systems, Earth is categorized as Class 12, Limited Interplanetary Capability, pre-FTL. But there's something else. Civilizations are also marked with colors. We're tagged yellow, verging on orange." "What does that mean?" Chen asked. "I believe it's a threat assessment. Green species are deemed harmless. Red ones—" Wong hesitated. "From what I could gather, red designated species are subject to containment protocols." Chen's expression darkened. "They're evaluating whether we're too dangerous to be allowed to advance." "That's my assessment, yes." The truth came 3 months after first contact. An Earth delegation visiting the Vexari ship intercepted communications not meant for human ears. The El Shiri were reporting to their superiors. "Humans show concerning patterns consistent with other aggressive expansion species," Ambassador Thelia's voice stated coldly. "Their history is marked by continuous warfare. More troublingly, despite their limited technology, They have developed theoretical frameworks for technologies that took other species millennia to conceive. Their adaptability and ingenuity ratings exceed all projections. A deeper, rumbling voice responded, "Recommendation? Reclassify to red designation. Implement standard containment protocols before they develop interstellar capability. The Earthers suspect nothing. They are eager for our gifts and believe us benevolent." When the recording reached the Pentagon, President Harlow authorized the Prometheus Protocol without hesitation. "How long do we have?" he asked Admiral Chen. Based on their communications, they're awaiting authorization from their central command. "Perhaps 2 months. And our status?" Admiral Chen allowed herself a thin smile. "Operational, Mr. President. We've been preparing for this possibility since before I was born." The next day, during a diplomatic reception, President Harlow raised a toast to the Vexari representatives. "To new friendships and the knowledge you've so generously shared," he said warmly. "Earth is eager to learn from your advanced civilization. We hope that our modest achievements don't disappoint you." Ambassador Thelia's skin rippled with blue-green patterns. "Not at all, Mr. President. Your species has accomplished much in a short time. We see great potential in humanity." "That's very kind," Harlow replied, his expression perfectly humble. "We're still finding our way among the stars. Our simple space stations and lunar outpost must seem primitive to beings who traverse the galaxy." Meanwhile, deep within the asteroid belt, behind Ceres, massive doors slid open on a facility that officially didn't exist. The first of humanity's true fleet emerged from its hiding place, sleek, predatory vessels built with technologies decades beyond what Earth publicly acknowledged possessing. On Mars, beneath the dusty surface of Olympus Mons, assembly lines that had operated in secrecy for 15 years accelerated production. In the clouds of Venus, floating research facilities finalized weapons systems that defied conventional physics. And in the darkness beyond Neptune, the largest of humanity's hidden shipyards brought the dreadnought Reckoning online, the first of 30 supercarriers equipped with technology reverse-engineered from a different alien wreck discovered in Antarctica in 1938. "The Vexari believe us technologically inferior," Admiral Chen told her command staff within the hollowed-out interior of Titan, Saturn's largest moon. "They think we're naive, trusting, and vulnerable. Their containment protocol likely involves a swift decapitation strike against our leadership, followed by occupation of key facilities." She activated a holographic display showing the solar system, with hundreds of blue dots representing hidden human assets. "Let them continue to believe that. Every primitive technology we accept from them is analyzed and improved upon. Every amazing advancement they demonstrate, we document and reverse engineer. They think they're evaluating us. In reality, we've been studying them since the moment they arrived." Captain James Rivera, commander of the soon-to-be-revealed 3rd Fleet, studied the display. "When do we show our hand?" "Not until they move against us," Chen replied. "The element of surprise is our greatest advantage. For now, we maintain the charade. We're just simple humans, awed by the wonders of the universe, grateful for the Vexari's guidance." Her eyes hardened as she looked at the massive alien vessel in Earth orbit, unknowingly surrounded by cloaked human defenses. "Let them think us sheep. They'll discover too late that humanity has teeth." The hidden arsenal. 4 months after the Vexari's arrival, Ambassador Thelia requested an unprecedented meeting with the United Nations Security Council. "We have concerns," she announced, her skin pulsing with orange undertones that human xenobiologists had learned indicated displeasure. "Several of your nations continue developing military technologies despite our recommendations to focus resources on infrastructure and social development." "With respect, Ambassador," Russia's representative replied coolly, "Earth's nations maintain sovereign rights to self-defense." Thelia's skin darkened. "The alliance provides all necessary protection to developing worlds. Your continued militarization suggests distrust." The Security Council maintained diplomatic smiles while encrypted messages flew between capitals. The Vexari were accelerating their timeline. In Lunar Base Armstrong, ostensibly a scientific research station, Colonel Sarah Nakamura received the alert with grim satisfaction. "About damn time," she muttered, activating the facility's true systems. Beneath the surface modules visible to Vexari observers, 5,000 soldiers and engineers manned a command center that controlled Earth's orbital defense grid. "Status report," she ordered. "All systems operational, Colonel," her XO responded. "Defense platforms are powered down but ready for immediate activation. The Artemis batteries on the far side are fully armed. And our guests? Still oblivious. Their observation drone maintains its scheduled path over the research quadrants. They haven't ventured within 50 kilometers of restricted areas." Nakamura nodded. "Keep it that way. We show nothing until Admiral Chen gives the order." Meanwhile, aboard the International Gateway Station, Dr. Elena Reyes hosted 3 El-Shiri scientists, showing them Earth's most advanced propulsion laboratory. "This is our prototype fusion drive," she explained, gesturing to an impressive but deliberately outdated engine. "We hope to achieve efficiency levels that would make Saturn reachable in under 6 months. The lead El-Shiri scientist, Valcon, made a sound suspiciously like suppressed laughter. "An admirable goal, Doctor. Perhaps with Vexari guidance you might reduce that to weeks." "That would be miraculous," Reyes replied with practiced wonder. "Our greatest minds have worked for decades to achieve what seems rudimentary to your people." What the El-Shiri didn't know was that Dr. Reyes had helped design the quantum slip drives now installed in humanity's hidden fleet. Engines capable of reaching Saturn in hours, not months, and venturing beyond the solar system entirely. As the tour continued, Reyes' earpiece crackled with an encrypted message. "Prometheus Level 2 activated, stand by." Her expression remained unchanged as she continued the charade, pointing out cutting-edge technology that had secretly been obsolete for years. 3 days later, President Harlow met privately with Thelia at Camp David. The meeting had been Thelia's idea, a chance to speak candidly away from the ceremonial constraints of Washington. "We value our friendship with the Vexari," Harlow began, "but I sense you're dissatisfied with Earth's progress." Thelia abandoned her usual diplomacy. "You've been categorized as a potential threat species, Mr. President. The Alliance doesn't wish to impede your development, but certain guardrails must be established before Earth can join the galactic community." "Guardrails?" "Limitations on military capability, oversight of technological research, deployment of Vexari observers to key facilities." Thelia's skin shifted to a deep purple. "These are standard protocols for species with your temperament." Harlow maintained his poker face. "That sounds more like subjugation than partnership, Ambassador. A temporary arrangement until your species demonstrates sufficient stability." Her voice hardened. "The alternative would be unfortunate. Many species resist initially only to recognize the wisdom of our approach later. Is that a threat?" "A reality, Mr. President. The decision of the Alliance Council is final. We've observed similar species allow their aggressive tendencies to destroy worlds. We cannot permit that risk." As Thelia spoke, President Harlow received a discreet notification on his secure watch. Admiral Chen's message was brief. "Vexari vessels deploying from Mothership, heading toward Mars, weapons signatures detected." It was happening. "How many others?" Harlow asked suddenly. "Excuse me? How many other species have you contained?" Thelia hesitated, surprised by the question. 17 have required intervention in the past 5,000 cycles. Only 3 necessitated more severe measures. "Extinction?" The ambassador's skin briefly flashed red before settling into cool blue tones. "Regression to pre-industrial development with appropriate monitoring. Extinction is rarely necessary." Harlow stood, abandoning all pretense. "You should know, Ambassador, that humanity anticipated this scenario long before your arrival." For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Thelia's features. "I don't understand." "Project Revelation," Harlow said simply, activating his secure communication device. "Admiral Chen, they've made their move. Execute the protocol." In the skies above Mars, 3 Vexari warships descended toward the human colony of Olympus City. Their mission was surgical, neutralize the settlement's leadership and communication systems, then establish control before Earth could respond. Standard containment procedure for Class 12 civilizations. What they didn't expect was the defense grid that suddenly activated across the Martian surface. Unidentified vessels, came the transmission from the supposedly primitive human colony. You are entering restricted space with weapon systems active. Disengage immediately or face defensive measures. The Vexari commander responded with the contempt of technological superiority. Martian authorities, power down your systems and prepare for inspection. Resistance would be futile and result in unnecessary loss of life. Governor Michelle Okoye of Mars Colony smiled coldly as she gave the order. Show them what futility really looks like. From concealed silos across Acidalia Planitia, 36 kinetic interceptors launched simultaneously. The Vexari vessels, expecting minimal resistance, had maintained standard shields sufficient to repel meteorites or primitive projectiles. What struck them instead were hypervelocity penetrators with neutronium cores designed specifically to rupture advanced energy shields. 2 Vexari ships exploded instantly. The third managed emergency protocols and retreated, trailing debris and atmosphere. Aboard the Vexari mothership, alarms blared. Ambassador Thelia, still at Camp David, received the emergency transmission with visible shock. "What have you done?" she demanded. President Harlow's expression remained calm. "Defended our territory from unprovoked aggression. Ambassador, I believe it's time your people learned who you're actually dealing with." Throughout the solar system, hidden installations suddenly revealed themselves. From the cloud tops of Jupiter, massive defensive platforms emerged. Within the rings of Saturn, concealed shipyards activated. From the Kuiper Belt to Mercury's sunward side, humanity's true military infrastructure awakened. On Titan, Admiral Chen stood before the primary command display as reports flooded in. Status of Project Revelation assets. All systems online. Admiral, the fleet is deployed and awaiting orders. Chen nodded. Initiate Phase 3. Full reveal. Across Earth, massive hangar doors opened in mountain ranges, beneath oceans, and within what had appeared to be civilian facilities. From each emerged vessels that defied the Vexari understanding of human capability, sleek destroyers, heavy cruisers, and aircraft unlike anything they had catalogued in their assessment of Earth. In near-Earth orbit, what the Vexari had classified as primitive defense satellites suddenly reconfigured, revealing advanced weapon systems that had remained disguised since their deployment. But the greatest shock came from beyond Neptune. The void between Neptune and Pluto suddenly rippled as hundreds of ships disengaged their quantum camouflage. At their center loomed the dreadnought Reckoning, 2 kilometers of concentrated human ingenuity and determination, bristling with weapon systems even the Vexari recognized as lethal. "Signal from Earth, Admiral," reported Captain Rivera. "The President is addressing the Vexari directly." On screens throughout the fleet, Harlow's face appeared, his expression resolute but not triumphant. "Ambassador Thelia, High Command of the Vexari Alliance," he began. "For decades, humanity has prepared for first contact with advanced civilizations. When you arrived, we hoped for true partnership but planned for the alternative. What you have witnessed today is but a fraction of our capability. The technologies you so generously offered us, we had developed most independently and improved upon the rest within weeks of your demonstrations." His voice hardened. "You came to contain what you feared might become a threat. In doing so, you created one. We have monitored your communications, analyzed your technology, and prepared accordingly. Humanity extends the following terms. The Vexari Alliance will withdraw all forces from our solar system within 24 hours. You will reclassify Earth as a sovereign system with whom diplomatic relations may be established only on terms of absolute equality. Any future aggression will be met with overwhelming force." As Harlow spoke, the Reckoning moved into position flanked by 12 battlecruisers, their weapon systems trained on the Vexari mothership. "We have no desire for war," the President concluded. "But make no mistake, we will not be subjugated. Earth stands ready to join the galactic community as partners, or to defend our independence with every measure at our disposal. The choice, Ambassador, is yours." In the stunned silence that followed, Admiral Chen watched the tactical display as the Vexari mothership found itself surrounded by a military force they hadn't believed possible. "Do you think they'll withdraw?" Rivera asked quietly. Chen's expression remained impassive. "They're reassessing everything they thought they knew about us. Their algorithms categorized us as predictable, manageable. Now they're facing the unknown. And if they choose to fight?" The Admiral's eyes reflected the cold light of distant stars. "Then they learn why. Throughout our bloody history, one truth has remained constant. Never underestimate humanity when its survival is at stake." Revelation dawned 5 hours after President Harlow's ultimatum. The Vexari mothership remained motionless in Earth orbit, surrounded by humanity's revealed fleet. Communications had ceased. The only movement was the damaged warship limping back from Mars, its systems barely functional. In the White House Situation Room, tension had reached fever pitch. "They're stalling," Secretary Alvarez insisted, "waiting for reinforcements." Admiral Chen, connected via quantum-secure link from Titan Command, shook her head. "Our long-range sensors detect no Vexari fleet movements within 5 light years. They're isolated." "Then what are they doing?" President Harlow demanded. Dr. Reyes, who had studied Vexari psychology extensively, offered her assessment. "They're experiencing cognitive dissonance. Their entire framework for understanding species development has been upended. The Vexari Alliance has existed for thousands of years, categorizing and managing emerging civilizations according to rigid protocols. We've just demonstrated that their system is fundamentally flawed. So they're, what, having an existential crisis?" Alvarez asked incredulously. "In a manner of speaking, yes." Reyes nodded. "Their hierarchy is based on technological superiority and predictive accuracy. We've challenged both simultaneously." The tension broke as a communications officer announced, "Incoming transmission from the Vexari vessel." Ambassador Thelia's image appeared on the main screen. Her skin had turned an ashen gray, a color humans had never observed before. "President Harlow," she began, her voice subdued. "The Vexari High Command requests a 48-hour extension to consider your terms. Additionally, we propose a direct meeting between your military leadership and our command triumvirate." Harlow glanced at Admiral Chen's video feed. She gave a subtle nod. "Extension granted, Ambassador," Harlow replied. "The meeting will take place on neutral ground, our lunar base Armstrong. Your delegation will be limited to 5 representatives. You have 6 hours to prepare." As the transmission ended, Admiral Chen addressed the assembled leadership. "They're playing for time, but not in the way Secretary Alvarez suggests. They're reassessing their entire approach to Earth." "How can you be sure?" Harlow asked. "Because I would do the same in their position. The Vexari believed they understood humanity, based on our public face. Now they've glimpsed our shadow capabilities and they're terrified by what else they might have missed." "Maintain full alert status," the president ordered, "but no provocative movements. Let's not give them reason to choose conflict out of fear." 6 hours later, on the surface of the moon, a small Vexari shuttle landed at the designated coordinates outside Lunar Base Armstrong. From it emerged not Ambassador Thelia, but 3 tall figures in ornate battle armor, the command triumvirate, that led the Vexari military. Admiral Chen, who had made the journey from Titan aboard the hypervelocity transport Swift Justice, waited with Colonel Nakamura and President Harlow's personal envoy, Dr. Marcus Wong. The meeting took place in a transparent dome overlooking the stark lunar landscape, Earth hanging like a blue jewel in the black sky above them. "I am Supreme Commander Hask Voran," the central figure announced, removing his helmet to reveal scaled features similar to the El-Shiri, but with pronounced ridges that suggested a different evolutionary path. "These are War Strategist Krell and Fleet Admiral Zendar. We represent the military authority of the Vexari Alliance." Chen nodded in acknowledgement. "Admiral Victoria Chen," Earth Defense Force. Colonel Sarah Nakamura, Lunar Command. Dr. Marcus Wong, Scientific Advisor. Hask-Varan's vertical pupils contracted as he studied the humans. Your deception was impressive. No species has ever concealed their true capabilities from Alliance assessment so thoroughly. It wasn't deception, Chen replied. Merely prudence. Earth has a long history of conflict. When we began exploring our solar system, we established military protocols that remained active even as we developed peaceful applications of our technology. Your visible infrastructure suggested pre-FTL development. Class 12 civilization, Krell interjected, his tone accusatory. Dr. Wong smiled thinly. We showed you what we wished you to see. A basic principle of scientific observation is that the observer affects the observed. We merely accounted for that influence. What classification would you assign Earth now? Chen asked pointedly. The three Vexari exchanged glances. Our metrics are clearly inadequate, Hask-Varan admitted. Your quantum camouflage alone exceeds Class 7 capabilities. The neutronium weapons deployed at Mars would place you at Class 5, yet your interstellar reach appears limited. By choice, not capability, Nakamura stated. We focused on securing our solar system before venturing beyond it. Fleet Admiral Zendar, who had remained silent until now, leaned forward. The real question is this. What are humanity's intentions? You have revealed military capabilities that could threaten multiple Alliance worlds. Chen's expression remained neutral. Earth desires peaceful cooperation with all species, based on mutual respect and non-interference. Our weapons exist to ensure our survival, not to conquer. Words many aggressive species have spoken before, Zendar replied skeptically. Then judge us by our actions, Chen challenged. We detected your true intentions months ago. We could have struck preemptively. Instead, we waited until you moved against Mars. Even then, our response was measured. We disabled your ships but took care to provide rescue opportunities for survivors. The meeting continued for hours, with discussions ranging from technical capabilities to philosophical differences in approach to interspecies relations. Throughout, the Vexari struggled to reconcile their preconceptions with the reality before them. Finally, Hask-Varan made his decision. The Vexari Alliance will withdraw all military assets from your solar system as requested. Earth will be reclassified as a sovereign peer entity, a designation previously reserved for founding Alliance members. We request, however, that regular diplomatic exchange continue. There is much we have misunderstood about human development. After the Vexari departed, Chen, Nakamura, and Wong remained in the dome, watching the shuttle return to the mothership. Do you trust them? Nakamura asked. Chen sighed. Trust is earned, but I believe they're genuinely shocked. The Alliance has followed the same protocols for thousands of years, largely successfully. We're an anomaly they can't ignore. What happens next? Wong wondered. Information travels, Chen replied. The galaxy will learn that the Alliance's assessment protocols failed with humanity. Other species they've contained will question their classification. The balance of power has already shifted. 12 hours later, the Vexari mothership began moving away from Earth orbit. Smaller vessels previously stationed throughout the solar system converged on it, forming an orderly retreat formation. On the bridge of the Reckoning, Admiral Chen watched alongside Captain Rivera as the Vexari fleet departed. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, communications reported. Messages being transmitted in all known languages. Chen nodded. Let's hear it. Ambassador Thelia's voice filled the command deck. To all civilizations receiving this transmission, the Vexari Alliance formally acknowledges Earth as a sovereign peer entity with all associated rights and responsibilities under Alliance Charter. Diplomatic relations are established on terms of equality and mutual respect. Alliance members are advised that human space is to be approached with appropriate diplomatic protocols only. There was a pause before she continued, her tone different, less formal, more genuine. We misjudged humanity. We saw your divisions and conflicts as weaknesses. We failed to recognize that these challenges forged the very strengths that make you unique. The Vexari Alliance has existed for 20,000 years, categorizing emerging species according to predictable patterns. Earth represents something unprecedented, a reminder that the universe remains full of surprises. As the transmission ended, Rivera turned to Admiral Chen. "Is this victory?" "It's something more important," Chen replied. "Recognition. For the first time, humanity has established its place in the galactic community on our own terms." In the weeks that followed, Earth experienced a transformation. The public revelation of Project Revelation's true scope initially caused shock and debate. How had governments worldwide concealed such massive infrastructure and technological development? President Harlow addressed a United Nations special session, explaining the decades-long consensus that had led to humanity's hidden preparations. After the discovery of the Antarctica crash site in 1938, world leaders, even those at war with each other, recognized that Earth's divisions might doom us all when we inevitably encountered advanced civilizations. The Prometheus Protocol was humanity's insurance policy, developed in secret across political divides that otherwise seemed unbridgeable. The revelation that Earth possessed technology far beyond what most citizens had believed possible sparked a renaissance of innovation as formerly classified advances were gradually integrated into civilian sectors. 3 months after the Vexari departure, Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck of Karen Station, gazing out at the distant sun, a bright star from this far outpost of human presence. Dr. Reyes joined her, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "The Vexari diplomatic delegation arrives tomorrow. Actual diplomats this time, not evaluators." Chen accepted the coffee with a nod of thanks. "And the other galactic powers? 7 different species have requested permission to establish embassies on Earth. The Artaxian collective seemed particularly eager. Apparently they've been under Vexari guidance for centuries and see us as potential allies." "Allies," Chen repeated thoughtfully. "Not so long ago we weren't sure we'd survive first contact." Reyes smiled. "Humanity has always been adaptable. It's what they didn't understand about us. They saw our history of conflict and concluded we were dangerous." "We are dangerous," Chen corrected. "But not in the way they assumed. Our strength isn't our weapons or our deception. It's our capacity to imagine threats and opportunities that haven't yet manifested. To prepare not just for the dangers we know, but for those we can only glimpse." The Admiral turned from the viewport to face the vast complex of Karen Station. Once a secret installation, now the centerpiece of humanity's new role in interstellar affairs. "The Vexari thought they were studying us," she continued. "In reality, we were learning from them, improving upon their technologies, and preparing for whatever might come next." "And what does come next?" Reyes asked. Admiral Chen's expression softened slightly. "Something the Vexari never imagined. A galaxy where species aren't classified by threat levels and contained, according to ancient protocols. A future where emerging civilizations are welcomed as potential partners rather than managed as potential threats. Do you think that's possible?" "I think humanity just proved that the old ways of thinking have limitations." Chen raised her coffee in a small toast. "To the dawn of something new." As they spoke beyond Neptune's orbit, the first of Earth's true interstellar vessels prepared for its maiden voyage. The explorer ship Revelation would venture beyond the solar system not with weapons primed, but with scientific instruments active and a message of peaceful cooperation, backed by the unmistakable strength that had earned humanity its place among the stars. In diplomatic centers across the galaxy, the news spread rapidly. A Class 12 civilization had revealed itself to be something unprecedented. The humans had hidden their true capabilities not out of aggression but caution, a concept many species found difficult to comprehend. And in the highest councils of the Vexari Alliance, the classification system that had guided their interactions with emerging species for 20 millennia underwent its first fundamental revision in recorded history. Earth's designation now read, Sovereign Peer Entity, Approach with Respect.